Obviously, one of the greatest things about working on Little House on the Prairie was Michael Landon. Not only was he an amazing producer, writer, director, actor, star, he was just a really good guy. And one of the things that he did, which a lot of people don't do in this business, especially someone as busy as him, and just to be honest, as famous as he is, was that he ate lunch with the crew. A lot of the times they would have us set up for lunch in a barn up in Simi Valley. And so I was sitting in the barn. I was eating, my mom and my brother had gone off, and Michael was eating, and we were kind of the last two people left there, right? And he called everybody Kitty. He goes, "Hey, Kitty, what's going on?" And I was telling him that I was watching this new show and that it was this really, really cool show, and maybe we should be afraid of it. Like, I'm trying to warn Michael Landon about this show that's going to, take his lunch money. And he goes, "What's the show?" And I go, "Mork and Mindy." And I just freaking loved Mork and Mindy. And if you were alive at that point, you remember Mork and Mindy was a really, really big thing. The suspenders, the windbreakers, everything about it, all this cool stuff. And he was very calm with me, right? He was like going, you like Mork and Mindy? I go, "Yeah, man, it's the greatest. And, are you afraid of it? Because it's going to be such a big hit." And he was super calm, and he goes, "No, I'm not really afraid of Mork and Mindy." And I go, "But it's going to be, it's huge." And he goes, "Listen here, Kitty. The reality is that they'll still be watching you on Little House on the Prairie in 50 years, and no one's going to be watching Mork and Mindy." And because I'm an idiot, as we all know, I looked at him and I go, "Little House on the Prairie is going to be on for 50 years? And he laughed and he says, "No, but the reality is that this show is based in 1880s, 1870s, 1880s. We're already the past. Mork and Mindy is based in the present, which was 1978, 79. And they're going to look like a fad. It's going to date very, very poorly compared to Little House on the Prairie." And because Michael was so nice and because he made it feel like you could really talk to him, I kind of pushed back. I go, I don't know, Mork and Mindy, it's pretty awesome. And I think it's going to be around forever. And he goes, "Well, we'll see." Well, of course, Michael Landon's right. No doubt people know of Mork and Mindy and you can watch it. But the idea that people, the way that people watch Little House now versus the way that they watch Mork and Mindy now, it's a completely different thing. And he was absolutely right that it did date itself. It's like you look at those, eras and the way that they dressed and all that type of thing. It does look dated. Funnily enough, I was telling this story to Donald P. Belisario, where I found myself at lunch, and I was telling him this story about how Michael explained this to me. And he goes, "Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about Jag." And Don was never afraid of taking credit for things. And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you look at Jag, everyone is in a uniform. I mean, John Wayne wore the same uniform as you're wearing right now, in harm's way." It's like, which is, by the way, I think where he got the name for harm. His point was that we were in uniform and that our show won't date as badly as other shows at that time period. But yeah, it's pretty amazing when you sit down and you have a talk with these incredible producers. And, Michael just knew. He knew exactly what was going to happen. So that's the story about how Michael Landon predicted the future and got it exactly right.